Well, hello, welcome back. It's another West London VR series. This is Summer Series 2023. Can't wait, really excited about this one. Always interesting in some ones because we get a few of the guys down under, especially the Sands team. So welcome back, Johan Olofsson, if you're in there, Danny Staines and all the crew. We lose a few Northern Hemisphere riders who don't want to cycle inside quite as much. But the races are just as exciting. Here are the key dates for the RGT series here. Today, April the 12th, and then fortnightly from there, April 26th, May the 10th, May the 24th, and so on. To be broadcast by RGT's premier broadcaster, ZMS. And thank you very much, Damon at ZMS, for broadcasting this one. And look out, as you've just seen, for Chase the Yellow in July, brought to you by ZMS. More of that event will be unveiled over the coming weeks, so look out for it. 1 minute 50 to go. We're on the AdFab Ascot course today. This is just the first race in the series, so no clues as to who's going to win this. You'll see it's a triangular course, and that's a horse racing course that it's basically going around. You can see the horse racing course there. If you're not from the UK and you're not familiar, Ascot is a very important race course. It hosts Royal Ascot, where the Queen used to go, and presumably the King from now on will be going for the big royal meeting, Royal Ascot, which is huge British tradition. And you can see that's just in Berkshire, just west of London, if you want a key indicator. And you can see where the white dot is on the course. You can see the race course sort of spins out. There's an extra sort of flat track out there. That goes up to Windsor Castle, where, of course, the King is now the main resident. Now, you can see a few lumps on there. This is actually a 4-lap race. The lumps aren't very, very big, so they look exaggerated on that profile. They are slight gradients as opposed to hills, shall we say. This is ostensibly a flat course. You'll see there's obviously 3 tight bends. With the new steering on RGT, we approve of steering, and we think it's great here at West London VR. So getting on the inside line might just be advantageous if you can manage it. There are constant updates to the steering, we know, so we'll see how that plays out. We have, 67 racers online at the moment, so should be a decent race with 7 seconds to go. As I say, fairly flat, and 3, 2, 1, here we go. The Series 7 is off and running. 67 riders bursting out there. I see Gautam Thakkar's up in 5th place. Marvellous. He did a TT for us yesterday, so I'm not quite sure how fit he'll be. Sorry if it's a little bit jerky on your screen. It is on mine. There are some problems with some updates on the software, I believe, so hopefully they will iron out. But if maybe smooth on your screen, maybe it's just my internet. Now we've got one rider off the front there, and the group just getting together. You see a lot of R3R shirts in there, the blue, red and black, the light blue, red and black. R3R putting 2 teams into this, and it's Webb from the Sands team. It's Grant Webb. I said we got some of the down under guys, so I didn't mention Grant Webb out there on the front, being caught up. Von Mail, Jan Van Aert is just behind. That says no pins against his name, but riding for R3R this time. Alistair McAlpine in the GCN kit, red, white and black, riding for Glasgow United as the pack takes shape. Now this is all fairly close, and you can see for example, Grant Webb, who went off the front, still in the pack, quite happily there. We've got Paul Newton in there, Soderberg from OTR. It moves around so much, it's hard to tell, isn't it? But I think all the main players will be in this front bunch. Gautam Thakkar, I see, just in the mix there. We see one of the Moonriders, 2 Moonriders jerseys in there we see sneaking up, and one is Wouter Klaes, the legend that is Wouter Klaes, and look out for him. I think he'll be looking to win this one today. I think it's his sort of course. He might disagree. We've got another Belgian out the front. It's Veres, and putting on the pressure out the front now. Grant Webb back out on the front. He obviously likes a little stint on the front and pushing it. Now remember, one of the big tactics from the big players here is to stretch it at the front. Just look how many R3R jerseys are in there. This is, are they playing as a team? They are actually made up of two teams, so it's going to be hard to distinguish which one they're in. There's the R3R main team and the second team, which has a slightly different name, which I'm just trying to recall now because we got given it at the last minute. But it's I'll come up with it in a moment. Don't worry, it'll come back to me. Sean Murtko for R3R, talking to them, out on the front at the moment. Look at that. Just a string of 3 or 4 of them. And if they do ride together, R3R Speedwagon, that was it. I knew I'd remember in the end. Now 4 of them just making a little bit of a break here. If they ride as a team, that could be difficult for everybody behind. And we see, is that Danny Stain? There's one of the Sands riders just behind. Grant Webb in there as well. This is Jan Varner. Van Aard is his real name. Now we go through the arch there. Then that signals the halfway stage in most races. But of course, this is a 4-lap race, so that's basically halfway round the first lap. And Soderberg now for OTRs got into that R3R group. I think the front group is thinning out a little bit. We're still not very far at the race, but this has broken up the race quite a lot already. You can see this has really strung it out, and we're only 2.5 kilometres into the nearly 18 kilometre ride. So this is R3R just demolishing everybody at the moment. We can see, look at the gaps. You can see that, well, if you look at Østenard, he's now 32 metres ahead of the pack. The pack fairly bunched, actually. You can see Wouter in there, Jan van den Aert, Per Soderberg, Grant Webb in there, Cesson and Cesson, Tumurda, Alistair McAlpine, all in there, and all about 70 metres behind. So Østergaard is absolutely thumping ahead, 80 metres. That's quite impressive as they go down a very, very slight dip. You can see on the profile on the bottom that it's not what I'd call hilly. The green denotes it's sort of fairly flat, and if it goes sort of browny, greeny, orangey, reddy, that sort of denotes a bit of a gradient, and blue means descent. There's not a lot there in terms of climbing. The main reason you get one actually is you can see, I suppose, where that little red blip is on the profile. That's where it goes under a bridge, and that's really why you get that climb out of it. So Jurgen van Beurs now is leading the chase. It's down to 50 metres though, so being reeled in. Jurgen is not being supported. Yes, there's a few catching up with him. And you do wonder if the R3R riders are not going to contribute to this, to let their rider get away. Is Østergaard going to be the rider that wins because they won't help the pack? But I think there's enough others in there. Look, we've got OTR represented in there, and that's Soderberg. Moon Riders in Wouter Clays, Glasgow United with Alistair McAlpine, Jurgen van Beurs. I think there's enough other riders in there, and we'll see what happens here. But I just wonder. Stevie Cooper in there for Glasgow United as well. So Glasgow United with 2 riders up the front. I don't see James Melville, so maybe he hasn't made it tonight. Easter week can be a bit difficult. People do go away for Easter, but I'm sure James will be back soon for Glasgow United. But Stevie Cooper making sure they've got 2 riders in here. Remember, in team points, your top 2 riders score you points. Whatever points they get scores for the team. So if you were first and second, you get 100 points for second, 99 third. Now we just finished a lap there. That's the first lap. We've been right around the race course. The gap now down to about 24 metres. Richard Ackers now, the RIAC man, runs a great outfit. He does look out for his events on RGT. Richard Ackers there in second place, piling on the pressure now of the RIAC team. He got Francois Ike from Moon Riders. Haven't seen Francois in these for a while, so it's great to have him back. Great rider from Belgium. I assume he's a French speaker and it's pronounced Ike. But Forgive me if it's not. And Oostergaard now has been overtaken by the legend that is Wouter Klaes. You can't keep that man down. Wouter's had some great solo wins, but I think this is far too early for him to go. 5 kilometres in and 12 left. I don't think Wouter would do that. Francois Iker, the other Belgian, now on the front with Grant Webb just behind. The pack just about closing in. I think there's a significant split between the main contenders now and the rest. In fact, it's a bigger split than I first perceived there. But I think that could be pulled back together. You've got too many big names with an interest in the race in this, and so let's see. The Ratio rider in there is Jurgen van Beurs as well. So this little group actually having a chase down. Maybe that's more spread than it should be. We'll have a look. We'll have a look a bit later. I wonder what's going on further back in the race, though. This is quite a big gap back to this sort of 24 riders. So this is the next batch at 22nd. They are something, quite a distance between them and the next one. And we see some of the people have been dropped from the main group. Gautam Thacker, for example, there. Jan van Beurs in there. And Bar and Rob Miller from R3R must have he lost his mates. He joined. Gordon Jackson in there for OTR, I see as well. Some decent riders in this pack. It's not a Jürgen Janssens there. This is not a bad group, and the fact that they've got left behind is a little bit worrying for some of them, but they'll live and they'll find out there. I'm sure Gautam was glad to be in this little pack because they're probably helping him on quite a lot, especially having done TT. And I think it was quite a tough one of the OTR ones last night. Mike Wareham here in this little patch with Gordon Jackson and Mike Wareham in the little group working together. A couple of one Moon Riders, one OTR, and Morris is in there as well. Let's see, Jones from Wales. And they're back at about 30th position. You can still pick up good points, and if you do all 13 races, you can find yourself quite high up the league table by the end of this, because there are great chances to pick up points when riders ahead of you miss a race through summer holidays and things like that. You has a little bit on his own. Inferno, the German, just pulling up. Maybe they can work together a little bit here, and they've got 23 metres back to Danny Staines of South Africa, New Zealand. David Buckley of Westerly just behind him. David Buckley, the only person ever to have done every single West London VR race. I kid you not, he has never ever missed one. And I think we're up to about 80 now. Brett Smith in there for West London with Hobbs. Martin Schluderek back there in for 38th. I think he might accept that. I mean, it's a good rider. Brett will be very pleased to be up with this group. In fact, Marsan's just pulling away there, the Moon Riders rider. Hobbs chasing, Brett on his wheel, and FVB just behind. Nice to see coming up behind there, Rafa Nunes, who I haven't seen for a while, riding in the West London colours, in 44th position. We still have 67 riders online as these riders come through to the end of another lap. And here we are, there's Rafa, the Ecuadorian, and he's pulling Salas the Spaniard. I'm sure they can speak to each other in Spanish, although probably in different dialects, I would imagine. And behind them we've got Silva and Cheeseman coming up the Brits. That's Jacques Silva, the Portuguese, just finishing another half lap there. So, what else have we got coming up? Carlos Mendes, I see, is in 53rd at the moment. Berson's at 52nd, and plenty of riders still. Well, I'm 250 metres behind. I mean, they're not going to get lapped, I would like to think. So they're putting up good times. Remember, this is a good training session, and what we believe here is that West London is that we believe that this is self-selection, and it gets you into the right group in the race. You know, you might get dropped from a fast group and you might regret it, it might be a mistake, but then you'll have a race with the next pack. So it's all about the groups forming, and you can see there are little groups forming, and people have little personal work-togethers, and also they'll have little personal sort of battles on the line and things like that. Rewitsky in 55th for West London ladies, delighted to see in there, and Townsend making up the back. So looking at the front now, we have King Tubby, and after ages and ages, I actually found out his real name the other day, but I'm not going to say it publicly. I do like it when King Tubby and Lee Perry both ride in the same race, and if it doesn't mean anything to you, King Tubby and Lee Perry were famous reggae producers back in the day. This little group at the front now thinned out quite a bit. King Tubby no longer in the lead. Soderbergh going for another stint out the front in the OTR colours there. Jurgen van Beurs in there. Grant Birch, Jan Vanner, Wouter Clays, Bellio from OTR. OTR with two riders in here. This could be a good team scoring exercise for OTR, and let's see if they can mount a challenge. R3R, their no-pins team, are current champions as it stands, and they are looking like they want to keep the title. I need to get in touch with them, in fact, to send them all their trophies from the last series. Unfortunately, the last series ended just before I went on holiday, so I haven't posted everybody's trophies out yet. But if you haven't had one, don't worry. I am about to sort this out, and if you're due a trophy from the last series, it will be in the post, or I am trying to get your address or something along those lines. It might be sent to your team captain or something. But they will all reach their right destinations. Grant Webb now putting on a stint at the front. Soderbergh, is now on the front. It changes as soon as you say it. And that's Soderbergh's law. Wouter Clay is still in there. I think Wouter is looking good for this race. He's probably got some stiff competition from the R3R guys, and I'm looking at that. There's probably 6 jerseys in there from R3R. That is heavyweight, maybe 7 actually. I'm not quite sure, 6 or 7 anyway. So that is quite a stunning performance from the R3R guys in this little group of about 19 or 20 riders that have broken clear from the front. So late now for OTR. OTR with, as I say, in fact, 3 riders in that group, aren't there? There's 3 OTRs and about 7 R3Rs. I think if you've got an R in your name, I'll have to insert an R into West London Cycling somewhere. Maybe if you've got an R in your name, it helps with the racing. Ratio Racing got R's in their name. Ingmar van Beurs, they're brothers actually. I always get them muddled up. I think Jürgen van Beurs, Jan van Beurs, and Ingmar van Beurs. But apologies for all that. Rob Miller, another R3R rider in there. Snaver now off the front, and another team rider not wearing the team colours. I'm trying to think which team he was in, but it's not TBS. I've completely forgotten. But he's certainly riding for somebody else and wearing different colours to the team he's riding for. So that will be interesting. Danish flag there. And quite a few Danes riding on RGT these days. The ECKD is a very strong outfit. Stevie Cooper still up in that top bunch as well for Glasgow United. So some of the big teams punching hard here. And let's see what happens. They complete another half lap. There's only 6 kilometres to go. Is Snaver stretching this or not? I think this is different to races we've been seeing recently, in the sense that whilst the front group's got away, nobody's reacting too much to the riders going off the front. And consequently, I think they're getting reeled back slowly. That would be my observation. And it's certainly, there doesn't seem to be a hard effort to pull Snaver back here, does there? Jürgen van Beurs, Ratio Racing, in front of Bellio OTR, Paul Newton, Østergaard for R3R again, Richard Ackers up there doing very, very well. Sole React rider, Jürgen van Bersner. Now this is splitting a little bit because Van Bers is pulling that, and Bellio from the USA for riding for OTR on the chase, but one of the R3R riders coming back. Two of the R3R riders coming back now, pulling back Snaver. R3R want the win now. They've got numbers up there. They want the win. They're not going to let it get away. R3R trying to control the race here. Bellio and Van Bers not quite reacting. Stephen Bellio now sitting on the wheel as the rest of them come back. Soderberg and Wouter Claes joining that group. They need to join forces. So the pressure is now on. So no sooner did I say that there was no concerted effort to pull a rider back, the chase started, and the chase has actually thinned the front group, and there'll probably be a couple of people who are sitting comfortable in that who won't like this. 5.5 kilometres to go as the excitement ratchets up. R3R putting in an absolutely exemplary team performance in this race. They're dominating the race, but can some of the other riders make it stick? Wouter Claes with all his class gets back up there. Snaver still pushing off the front. The others on his wheel. Are they chasing or are they sitting on the wheel? You can't tell from here, but it certainly looks like there's some effort going in. And Snaver's putting out some massive watts to do this. He's down at 3.6 now, 4.4. And maybe that was just a push too hard because Wouter Claes has now taken the lead. Bellio just behind him. Everybody up in this sort of higher threes and plus 4 watts per kilograms here. This group has broken away though, hasn't it? It's a group of about, what's that, 6 or 7 riders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 riders are now clear with 4.8 kilometres to go. Will this group stick together? Now this is not being dominated by R3R anymore. They do have 2 riders in there, so you could argue they've got the strongest group, but it's... and I said earlier I didn't think anybody would get lapped, but 64th place Belgian F is now the first rider I've seen lapped. So anyway, but this race is going to be down to these 6 or 7 people, we think, as they enter the last lap. 4.4 kilometres to go. Will it be cat and mouse or will it be pressure? I think they've broken the rest of that 20-man group, and I think the question now is, does anybody really want to take it on the front for too long? Wouter Claes, if he's going to stay on the front, has done that a little bit early, so I think he'll drop back. He does. Snaver takes another turn on the front. Snaver's put in some top turns today, absolutely putting on the pressure, but you wonder if that's going to snap him. And yep, Snaver, I think that may be problematic. In the sense that there's so much effort going into that. Sorry, slight blip there. That's easily done when you're doing the cameras, I can tell you from experience. And this is what remains of that front group. And look at some of the names we left behind. Alistair McAlpine in there. And you can see there's a few riders just ahead, strung out. Francois Ike in there as well. Grant Webb, Stevie Cooper, Paul Newton, Richard Ackers. What a shame after all the effort he's put in, and a host of R3R riders, of course, Marino Cesson and so on and so forth. So Marino Cesson is out on his own actually in no man's land. So I still think these 7 have got it. You can just about see a couple in the distance, but I think that is too big a gap. And is somebody about to drop off this group? Is somebody else about to drop off? It could be Snaver. Are those efforts going to hurt him? Those efforts before might have just been a problem. Now he's fighting to get back onto this group of 7. He was pushing hard to stay out the front earlier, and it may have been a mistake. He's just about clinging on. He's back into the group. That's good. But can he stay there? It's one thing catching up as they lap another rider, but you've got to stay there. You've got to use that draft. No going on the front now. Wouter Claes is sitting there at the front with Soderberg and Jürgen van Bers. Snaver getting into the group. Bellio in the back now for OTR. It's not a bad thing to be sitting on the back, but keep your eye open for the people up front. Remember this steering on here now. There's an etiquette about this. I mean, on Wahoo RGT, if you steer into someone, it tends to barge them out of the way. There's an etiquette not to do this, but obviously if you're trapped in a slot, then you need to get out. Maybe you just need to do it. We'll see how this one plays out. I think these are exemplary riders. These are experienced riders. And Snaver's gone for it again. I thought he was struggling as they passed another rider. I thought Snaver was finished, and he goes out on the front again with another mighty push. He's really taking this race to everybody else. Jan van Aert is just on his wheel. Jan van Aert is probably playing a very, very good game here as they go past an OTR rider. I wonder if the OTR rider stuck in the middle there is not using steering in the sense that you would sort of kind of naturally take the inside line, because this is a triangular course where all the bends can be on the inside. Just half a lap to go now. Sneijder and somebody just moved out to the outside. I'm not sure why, but remember they got steering here. Took the outside line and then came up the inside. Overtook two riders. Interesting tactics, R3R. The big team in the competition this time. Bellio is on the front. The USA man is taking a turn on the front. Just 2 kilometres to go. It's getting closer and closer as we take a little bit of a look back further in the field. Let's not take our eyes off this. Ostergaard has taken a punt off the front with 1.9 kilometres to go. That is going to be a big win if he can do it from here. He's gained about 15 metres, but it's still a long way to go, and it's not going to be easy. And he's done that on that slight gradient, but I think they're going to catch up at the top. It's strung it out, but the gaps aren't big enough. So he's been caught by Wouter Clay, so that hasn't paid off. It might have weakened one of his competitors, and you can't tell just by looking at this. Snaver sitting in the wheel now. That man is not giving up. I thought he was finished, and I was so wrong. Anders Ostergaard out there with Wouter Clays. It's looking a bit cat and mouse at this moment. They're doing 44.8 kilometres per hour. Jurgen van Beers back in the mix. We're back to 6 riders now, and I'm guessing that Bellio now has dropped out of the race. So Bellio is the one that gets dropped behind, but he's fairly sure of 7th because Alistair McAlpine in 8th is a further 150 metres behind him. So Bellio keeps his rhythm. He's guaranteed 7th place, which will bag him 93 points. 94 points even. And so it's down to 6, and then there were 6. 900 metres to go. It's anybody's guess. Everybody just vying for position, watching for the moves. Who's it going to be? Jan van Aert, one of the class riders from past series. Wouter Clays, an absolute legend in these series. Snaver, absolutely smashing this race. Soderberg, another class rider. Jurgen van Beers, who we all love in these races. And Sostergaard. This is a quality sextet, and we are looking for a fine finish. Just 600 metres to go. Moving over onto the side now, so that everybody's not getting the wheel. This is Snaver again. I think Snaver's really hungry to get this win. He's pushing hard, but Wouter Clays and Ostergaard are sitting on his wheel. Van Aert's fighting back. It's not over yet. They've got 350 metres to go. They have to take a couple of back markers, including one from West London. Ostergaard is going clear now. 250 metres. Van Aert is chasing them. This is 2 R3R riders. I joked earlier that they might get first and second. Maybe not. Wouter Clays has got other ideas. Wouter Clays looking very strong with 100 metres to go. Yeah, can he do this? Wouter Clays absolutely powering home. Absolutely superb win, denying R3R a first and second finish. Van Aert gets in 3rd behind Oscar. Snaver, after all that work, in a very brilliant 4th position. Absolutely amazing finish. Wouter Clays showed his class once again. We're looking at the next batch back, and I think Alistair McAlpine got that one. Grant Webb in there. 21st coming back now. We'll look at all the finishing times for that group in a moment. For us, the Belgium now, 21st, 400 metres to go. Rob Miller, who's organising the R3R teams, just behind him. Is Rob going to chase for that or not? It's 1850. He's got 15 metres in 200 metres. If Rob's a great sprinter, he's closing it down. It's down to about 10 metres. Can he do this? 150 metres with Rob Miller now just 6 metres behind. Rob Miller is going to take him. Rob Miller for R3R with an absolutely brilliant sprint. Brest must be absolutely gutted as we see that finish from Rob Miller. Enlance, 24th in there. What a finish that was. Here are the top 10. We'll look at all the results later. So, Wouter Clays with that superb win. Anders Ostergaard, absolutely, I suppose, must be so disappointed to have lost that. As Jan Vanner, R3R picking up massive amount of points in the team series though. Jep Snever finishing 4th after so much work. Per Soderberg 5th. Jürgen van Beurs, Verasio Racing 6th. Very good finish. And then the gap back to 7th for Stephen Bellio for OTR. Marino Sassoni in 8th. Alison McAlpine for Glasgow United 9th. Paul Newton in 10th. That was superb. And I bet there's some great sprint finishes still to come if we go back to the race. This is what we like. It splits out into groups and we watch it. Danny Staines for South Africa, New Zealand. And he is... Oh, we can look at the finishing positions there on your right. We got up to 10. Angelo Barra got 11th. Evan Ostenson 12th. King Tubby 13th. Francois Ike 14th. Gary Birch 15th. Riak is of course Richard Ackers 16th. He put on some splendid displays at the front earlier on. Great finish though. Tony Lake, another OTR rider, 17th. OTR picking up some points in this. Stevie Cooper in 18th. Grant Webb 19th. Sean Murto in 20th. Rob Miller with that fantastic finish, pushing Luca Verhulst into 22nd. Jurgen Janssens 23rd. Nicholas Lands 24th. Ben Van Maal in 25th. And we just watched Danny Staines come in 35th. Marcin Studerek from Oslo there in the screen. David Buckley coming in at 39th. Can he catch Inferno? Buckley's got a good sprint, but he doesn't quite make it. And Hobbs there in 39th, just before my favourite Harry Smith. And another favourite is Brett Smith, South African living in the UK, riding for West London 40th. He'll be pleased with that. That's a decent result for Brett, and I'm pleased to see him do it. 26th, Gordon Thacker. He'll be thrilled to bits with that. That's a great finish, especially having done a tough TTE last night for West London. Chris Horton in 27th. Ingmar van Beurs, Verasio Racing, one of the Van Beurs brothers at 28th. Sam Josh 29th. Gordon Jackson at OTR 30th. Great lad from up north in the UK. Mike Wareham, Moon Riders in 31st. Craig Jones 32nd. Matthew Morris 33rd. Jay Hughes 34th. As we saw, Danny Staines for South Africa, New Zealand finishing 35th. Ahead of Marcin Studerek from Wrocław in Poland. Joe Inferno 32nd, as we saw. David Buckley not quite making that sprint, and yet the lad has got a good sprint on him for Westley. Kevin Hobbs at 39th, and my good friend Brett Smith for West London 40th. 41st coming in here, he's got Glanmore from the USA, nicely 20 metres ahead of the next rider. He needs to maintain that with about 80 to go. Should hold on. In fact, he's increasing that gap to take 41st place. So good finish there. Razalotti and W Boss coming in next. Rafa Nunes, another West London rider, 44th. Haven't seen Rafa for a while. I think he might have been on holiday looking at his Instagram post. He's about to lose a place, I think. Embro is just taking him. The Irish rider coming by with a plum. You can't fault that for a bit of finishing, can you? Perhaps Rafa feeling a bit leggy, not challenging it there. But well done, Ember. That's a decent finish, if I may say so. FVB coming in 46th, ahead of Cheeseman. Big gaps now, so not too many sprints in the next section. Jay Silva, Portuguese, and Salas is 49th. We've got about 19 riders still to come in. Carlos Mendes from Portugal is there. He's ahead of Tom Alsop by a good 96 metres. So it looks like the bunches haven't formed as much as usual in this particular race. And that may or may not suit some riders because whatever they've got left, they haven't had sprint finishes, perhaps quite as much. 50 metres to go, and Mendes coming in to take 50 points. Well done, sir. Tom Alsop taking 51. So there we go. Not 51 points, 51st position. Sorry. Bersons, the Norwegian, coming in one of those Ukraine jerseys. Well done, sir. Is 52nd. Van de Velde is 53rd. And just waiting to see what the ladies. I think the only lady riding tonight was Maria Witsky. So a good start for Maria in the ladies' championship. I think that that will please her. I know some of the other ladies, for various reasons, were chatting before the race and couldn't make it, and I think that's played into Maria's hands. Townsend coming in 54th now, and Evans in the West London kit coming in 56th. Gilmore 56th, and F, the Belgian, just after that. It'd be great to see if Maria can actually get a win in the ladies league. That'd be very nice for her. From Puerto Rico, rides for us in West London though. Well, she doesn't ride in West London. She rides in the West London kit, I should say. So every other Wednesday, we're here on RGT, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. We do race elsewhere on the other Wednesdays, and the other thing to look out for on RGT, of course, is it's the Chase the Yellow that you saw advertised, the teasers earlier. That's going to be a big event across July. The yellow, of course, referring to the Tour de France yellow jersey. So look out for Chase the Yellow. You can see that just coming up bottom of your screen. That will be on Wahoo RGT. As I say, we run every other Wednesday in here, so there's 2 weeks back on RGT as F finishes. Maria now, she's got a bit of competition for her position now. I don't think you worry her too much because I'm not sure. I don't think that's a lady rider behind. So as long as that's a male rider behind her, I don't think it'll be the end of the world if she loses any position. But let's have a look. 500 metres to go. I don't think this is the time for either of these two to start the sprint now. It's Maria Cristina Vitsky from Puerto Rico, out just in the North Caribbean Sea, south of the USA. In fact, Puerto Rico, part of the USA, of course. As they go around that last bend with 300 metres to go, you do get the impression that Smerdl is going to sort of ramp it up and romp home, and Slovenian does exactly that, as I said it. Commentators do occasionally get things right, and Maria's probably got a safe gap of about 20 metres back to the next rider to take the position. But I think that's a win for her in the Ladies' League, and I think that's great and probably long overdue and well deserved. Well done, Maria. Absolutely fantastic. Great to see that. And Canada coming in next, Upton in 61st. We have 2 more riders to come, I believe, in Van der Laan and Smits, both from, they've just changed position. They're having a bit of a duel there, aren't they? So we'll have to look forward to that one. Both from the Netherlands, of course. So 400 metres for Upton to go, but I'm just kind of watching this Van der Laan and Schmidt's battle. They're both neck and neck, so the battle behind, they're either working together and they're just going to have a little sprint at the end, or they're actually sort of thrashing this one out. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? And Upton now, 230 metres to go to finish the race in that Ukraine jersey, which we'd like to see. Before the 2 Netherlands riders, Harry Schmidt's great supporter of all these events. Just looking at the side there, Thomas Allsop was 51st, Paul Bersas 52nd, Shannon Van der Velde 53rd, as Upton takes the places. Now let's have a look at what these two are playing. Is it cat and mouse or not? They've got quite a way to go actually, so it's going to be a while, I think, before they finish. But we'll just have a look at the results. Mike Townsend was 54th, Andy Evans was 55th, Robert Gilmore 56th, F at 57, David Smerdl just stealing a place from Maria Cristina Vitsky, Migu Canada in 60th place. And anyway, it's say 1.3 kilometres to go. Van der Laan has pulled away from Schmidt, so it's not going to be the sprint finish we might have hoped for, but you never know. Schmitz is a bit of a character. He might he might have something in the bag now. It's 24 metres dragged back now if he's going to do anything. But there's Van der Laan perhaps pushed it and burnt himself out a little bit. 24 metres. He's not making the gap any bigger at the moment. So let's not write it off. There's still a kilometre to go, and you've got to sustain this. It's occasionally going down at 21 metres. Maybe the gap's closing. It is. It's looking like it's going to get under 20 metres. Harry Schmitz is back. It's this is going to be fun, isn't it? 17 metres, 15 metres. Go on. This is a Dutch battle. 900 metres to go. Will the road run out? 13 metres. He's got it down to now. Go on, Harry. Get in there. 850 metres to go. The gap's only 12 metres. That's fantastic. 12 metres. It's not closing a lot, but you get the impression that he's going to sneak down to 10, 11 now. 750 metres. Can Van der Laan get to the end before Harry Schmitz gets to his wheel? He's down to 7 metres. Harry's back on. We might have the sprint finish we were dreaming of for last place, but every little group is important in this. This is all-inclusive racing, and we saw a fantastic finish at the front, and I think we're going to see a fantastic finish at the back. Harry's pulled all of that back. He goes into the lead with 500 metres to go. 500 metres can seem a long time when you're holding on to a lead, though. So don't assume that Harry's got it yet. He's pulling out something of a very, very small gap, but it's about a metre or so. Van der Laan cleverly sitting on the wheel. 400 metres to go as we go around the last bend. You can gain a little bit by going on the inside, but they're both in the middle. Maybe they haven't got steering on, so they're not getting the advantage of taking the inside bend. Smits now is manual steering coming up on this. I'm not sure if the message is actually based on the ride or whether it's based on the camera. Have to find that one out for you. But either way, if they've got manual steering on, this is probably why they're not cutting on the inside of the bends. And they're staying exactly in the line they're in because they're not being forced out by a peloton. Harry Schmitz looks like he's going to do it. And he's going to do it by a good few metres. He puts a bit of extra effort in, gets himself over the line, and there you are. Well, we enjoyed every minute of that, gentlemen. Thank you very much for making that so much fun. And we look again at the top 10. Don't forget, it's 2 weeks, so we're not here next week. We'll be on another platform, Cade if you want to know. And we're running parallel series. They'll all be on the same courses, but they are different dynamics on the platforms, as you probably are aware already. Different styles of riding. But if you want this style, be back in 2 weeks' time. Thanks very much to Damon at ZMS for another fantastic broadcast. As you can see, it's getting a little bit dark in here, so I'll probably need to stand up and switch the light on. But I've enjoyed every minute of that. Thank you to each and every rider for taking part and making it so much fun. Hope you enjoyed it half as much as I did, because you'd have had a great time. Thanks, Damon. We'll see you next time.